So today is the beginning of our focus on mudita, joy, appreciative joy, the third of the Brahma Viharas. And we just wanted to really acknowledge this shift from a focus on compassion to joy, right? That can be a big shift. Um, and just in general, recognizing in some ways how challenging the Brahma Viharas can feel. Sometimes there can be this sense of like we really need to effort or push hard to get to these qualities. And wanted to just kind of hold that in many ways, the Brahmavihara practices invite us to connect with and uncover what's actually already here. These natural, responsive hearts that can welcome and befriend experience, that care about suffering, that celebrate and appreciate joy, and can stay balanced when life gets rocky, all in an easeful way. It doesn't always feel easeful, this practice of kind of cultivating our connection with that. And so, first, I wanted to bring in a quote from Rumi that we may often hear that I think applies well to the practices of the Brahmaviharas. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it and embrace them. Tara Brach really highlighted how that is the ending of that quote, and embrace them, embrace those barriers. And so this feels relevant to our focus on the Brahma Viharas, how to learn to trust these hearts of ours, and also really seeing and learning about what gets in the way of that. And so I wanted to share visual and listening metaphor for this that I found helpful, borrowed from the meditation teacher Kitty Saro. I think I've shared this once before. He uses this kind of focusing on mindfulness, but I'm going to borrow this to imagine that the bell is our heart, right? The bell is our heart. And as we do and practice our Brahma Vihara practices, we can often think that we need a lot of things, right? We need to remember this and that and get it right. And then we put stuff in here, right? Like maybe is this person deserving? Am I deserving? We can kind of add a lot of things and identify with so many things. And then I'm going to put the sound on. When we ring the bell, right, what happens? No sound, right? And yet, as we kind of remove the barriers with Rumi's quote, right? And so to consider, what if we took out all of our beliefs and shoulds and shouldn'ts and identifications, then when we come into contact with life, right, there's sort of this natural resonance, trusting, even if the heart is empty of all these things we think we need to hold, it can resonate. Okay. And I like to think of this little mallet, right? It's like this is all the phenomena arising and passing and meeting our hearts, painful, pleasant, on and on. And so, what might it mean to consider the barriers we bring in or that get packed into our ideas of joy or appreciative joy? And I wanted to share, I swear I had no idea this was going to happen. I had an experience yesterday that I felt like brought this all to life, that I will go through and share a little bit about. And so I had a friend who was visiting, was going to come yesterday. I was going to make lunch. We were going to sit outside, be in the sun, catch up, and then he was going to take an Uber to the airport. Okay. First, he was super late. I had already made lunch. It was ready. He got here and I look outside and I see him searching the Uber car. Like, oh, something's not right. Turns out he had lost his wallet. credit cards, ID. He's about to get on a plane, can't find it. So this starts this whole process of calling places, tracking it down, trying to figure out. And we pretty quickly realized, given that he had all his bags and everything, and it made sense for me to drive him with him to downtown Boston and go to the places, right, to check the places. So we did that, right? And for anyone who's been downtown Boston, tried to drive there, totally, not the easiest thing to do. Um, at one point, we were in a parking lot with all these cars around us, and I realized I had forgotten to pay before we leave. So I ran out to do that, didn't put the emergency brake on, car starts rolling backward. I mean, just like that kind of day, right? And we didn't find it. So then I drove him to the airport. Also, anyone who's familiar with Logan Airport, not super fun and stress-free to drive there. And he was also really worried about engaging with TSA. This is an openly gay man. Just there was just there's fears even more in our world right now. So he was okay. He got on the plane. Wonderful. But none of that went the way I thought. No lunch, no time outside, no relaxed catching up. And so the first challenge was like, could I actually enjoy my time with him in these little bursts in the car? And I could in moments, right? That was really one thing that I kind of tried to invite myself into. And of course, we were able to laugh a lot at how wacky the whole day was. We were able to catch up. In some ways, these kind of situations can bring you closer, right? And then I finally get home and I'm all frazzled. And I start to shift into this sense of there's only so much time left in the day. I should get sunlight. I wanted to be outside. So I grab cherries and a book, which is kind of my summer day perfection. I get outside. Okay, I'm going to do it, right? And I look up and I see clouds coming. And so immediate tightening, right? Oh no, now there's going to be no sun. So just noticing, right, how fast our relationship to what's happening shifts. Okay, so reading, pressured. I finally put the book down. I see I've eaten most of the cherries. I haven't really tasted them. And I just sort of invited myself, like, what are you trying to do here? What are you attached to? Okay, moment of breath. Then I saw flowers that needed watering, were all kind of wilted. And then there was tightening again. Got to do another task, so many things. I can never relax. Paused again. And I invited myself into just, can I water the plants with some open-heartedness? And that really helped. That was the beginning of the shift. And I was able to talk to the flowers like I do and have some fun watering them. And I started to really feel and appreciate the sun that was there on my face and skin. And I actually heard the sounds of the trees rustling and the birds. And so just to kind of, that whole second piece was a learning for me. And I thought about how also the additional piece of when we're working a lot, right? I'm going to be working today, seeing clients, and it can feel like there's only a moment to have fun, right? We sort of um, load so much into these moments when we're supposed to relax and enjoy and see people. So there was a lot in my bowl, right? A lot there to soften with and notice in order to allow me to be available moment to moment to the day that was there, that actually had a lot of opportunity for fun and hilarity and equanimity and connection. And so I really want to invite this in and just kind of highlight a couple of things that were certainly in my experience and maybe in yours as you practice cultivating access to joy, to appreciative joy, some things that might be barriers to welcome. One clearly is attachment to expectations, that things should be a certain way. Our day, our meditation should go this way. Um, and how that makes it so hard to be with what is here, and especially makes it impossible to practice contentment, which I think is a big piece of appreciative joy. Postponing joy, this way that we can do that, right? We can view tasks or work as in the way, or we need to get through those before joy can happen or be available. And that also means that we're treating those tasks as if they cannot be joyful also, right? Washing the dishes, laundry, etc., watering the plants. Or we're kind of really in urgency to find joy. I need this. I got to make it happen. And how that can lead, among other things, to not actually savoring, right? With the cherries in the book and the day. I think often there can be fears about letting go or not having control. And I know for me, kind of in my bowl, in my heart, um, there's a lot of pressure and identification with feeling responsible for making things good for others, for myself. And then there can also, with joy, I think, be patterns of shame, guilt, feeling undeserving or viewing others as undeserving. I noticed as we were driving, my friend kept saying he felt so bad for losing the wallet. He was so mad at himself. And I was feeling badly for not knowing my city well enough, right? And we just were able to kind of share that and laugh like, wow, we're really beating ourselves up about this rather than enjoying the time we have. And so I hope you can hear how much I am learning and did learn from kind of slowing down and noticing these barriers and embracing them, really embracing them, because that's how we learn. And embracing them, seeing them, that was the ticket to actually experiencing a little bit of uplift and joy, and really to any of the Brahma Viharas that were present yesterday. So just coming back to this quote one more time, your task is not to seek for love, or for loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against them and embrace them. So, thank you so much. Thanks for listening to my story and traveling with me in that. Um, let's take some time just to set up the practice. And in whatever way that feels right, you might want to move a little bit, might even want to stand and shake out. Even just the joy of being able to feel these bodies, to move these bodies, to respond to the body as it unwinds and communicates to us what it needs. And definitely, if it feels available, a couple deeper breaths just to support that opening and releasing helps us arrive and land a little bit more. And find your way in your own time to a posture that feels as relaxed and supportive as possible, maybe different than it was yesterday. Maybe feel for balance and uprightness, whether that's swaying a little bit side to side or letting the crown of the head gradually lift as we also feel the chair cushion supportive beneath us. Perhaps invite the eyes to close if that's comfortable. Noticing how we can still see light and darkness, and yet it is a rest. Don't have to be actively receiving information through the eyes. You may sense what feels best for your practice today. It may be staying with Vipassana, focus on the breath, coming back to breath or sounds as they come and go, and opening that up, widening the lens as feels right. Or it may be noticing this heart of ours. And as we maybe invite ourselves to notice any opportunity for appreciation, uplift, or joy, noticing what blocks that, what maybe thinks it's helping and needs some support and some acknowledgement and embracing the invitation to soften back. And as we practice, notice if we're trying to make anything happen or going out to experience, to phenomena. Maybe seeing if we can, like that bell, that empty bell, trust the mind heart to receive, to let phenomena come to us, sounds, sensations, thoughts, and trusting that the heart mind can resonate with warmth, compassion, appreciation, and balance. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your presence, and see a couple people have written in the chat. Um, Andrew, no, didn't find it. Um, let me allow everyone to unmute. Um, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your practice.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jasmine.
Wow.
Thank you.
Did your friend find his wallet?
Nope.
Oh.
Right.
Great
Oh,
story.
there it is. Thank you. See you
Great
tomorrow. Take care.
illustration.
Great
Aw.
story. Thank you.
Thank you. Be well. Good to see you all.
Oh.